What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Full 90. Today it is time for the Premier League predictions, and I want to first of all say I have just had a trip to the dentist, so this side of my face is completely numb, so if it's drooping, now you know why. But I want to give a massive shout out to Beckham Dominic, who left his predictions on the previous video, predicting Leeds to beat Aston Villa, Southampton to beat Everton, and correctly predicting exactly the Fulham Crystal Palace score and Wolves Newcastle score. I thought that was a very good showing from him. Most people predicted Aston Villa to win, so bravo Beckham Dominic. If you guys want to get featured in the next episode of the Premier League predictions, then drop your predictions down in the comments below. Now, if we look back to week 6, this is a clear winner for worst week of the season so far. I've got all the tips that I made in last week's video, and just next to the Man United tip I put WTF, because my tip was that there'd be a penalty in the match. And there just should have been. Like, there wasn't. The tip didn't come true. But, I mean, if that's not a penalty, I don't know what is. My one crowning jewel of the last Premier League match week was Liverpool to beat Sheffield United 2-1. And my tip was Liverpool and both teams to score. So, cracking value there and an exact result. So, I was happy with that. Other tips, I came very, very close, but it just didn't fall for me. There were shocks such as West Ham drawing with Manchester City. I thought it'd be a close game, but I really thought City would be able to get over the line. Southampton, Everton, that was a big shock. But to be fair, Southampton have always had it in them to play that well. Same with West Ham. These are two teams that quite a lot of people often predict to do quite badly, but especially West Ham, I've usually predicted them quite close to the top half of the table, if not in the top half of the table, and everyone always seems to disagree with me. But as they're starting to show, they have the talent to do great things in this league. So we're not going to delve too much further into the week 6 predictions. Let's just get straight in to week 7, kicking it off with Wolves up against Crystal Palace. Now, this is going to be a close game. Wolves games are always close, and I'm finally backing Wolves to score more than one goal. I think Crystal Palace, they got the win against Fulham, but Fulham really aren't looking that good this season. I still think that Palace haven't been that great on the attacking front, and Wolves are a very solid team defensively. I think Palace will be able to get a consolation goal, and I'm going to go for Wolves to win this game 2-1. And my tip, this is cracking value in my opinion. It is going to be the second half to have the most goals at 2.2. I did actually have a little bet on the Wolves game against Newcastle for it to be draw half-time and Wolves full-time, and it would have been had Wolves not conceded that free kick in the last minute. But Wolves are a second-half team. Raul Jimenez is a 70th to 80th minute striker, so I think second half with most goals is a good shout, and Palace could even win this game, and this tip could still potentially come true. Now, next up, it is Sheffield United up against Manchester City. Sheffield United finally getting another goal this season against Liverpool, all in vain in the end, of course. And Manchester City failing to beat West Ham, but they are coming off of a good win in the Champions League, 3-0 against Marseille. Now, I think this is going to be a very similar game to that Marseille fixture. In fact, Sheffield United, although they're not as good as they were last year, their defence is still okay. They're not getting blown out of the water by teams losing 4-0 or anything like that. They don't look as suspect as teams such as Fulham, for example, at the back. So I think Manchester City are going to win this one comfortably, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Manchester City, but my tip is Man City to win and under 4.5 goals at 1.8. So City could completely crush Sheffield United 4-0, and this tip would still come to fruition. They could win 2-1, 2-0. This tip would still happen. So 2-0 to Manchester City, but I think that tip has a lot of value in there. The next fixture, it is Burnley up against Chelsea. Burnley really struggling with the start of the season, and Chelsea looking a little bit hit and miss. I think both Chelsea and Man United will be a little bit disappointed with the way the game played out. I think Chelsea will feel very disappointed that they didn't get the penalty from Harry Maguire choke slamming Azpilicueta in the area. I couldn't believe it. You could tell instantly, even without seeing the event take place, you could tell by Azpilicueta's reaction that there was something in that, and the replay clearly backed that up. But I'm going to go for a Chelsea win here. I think it's going to be close. Chelsea, other than the Man United game and the Sevilla game, so recently, basically, they've been scoring 3 goals in every single game. I'm going to go one less than that because Burnley can be quite tough to break down at Turf Moor. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 away win to Chelsea, but to allow for a 2-0 win, my tip is going to be Chelsea to win and over 1.5 goals. Now, the next game, this is sort of low-key one of my games of the week. It is Liverpool up against West Ham. West Ham are in scintillating form. Liverpool, they did well in the Champions League to beat Midtjylland, avoided a scare there. Midtjylland played actually quite well in that game. Liverpool doing the business in the Premier League, currently joint top on points with Everton. And I think this is going to be a high-scoring and entertaining game. And in the same way that I predicted predicted Tottenham to beat West Ham 3-2. They then obviously blew it and drew 3-3. I'm going to predict Liverpool to beat West Ham 3-2, and I'm more confident that Liverpool will be able to hold on to such a lead, that whatever lead it is that they do end up creating. And I think West Ham will get a goal or two because they are looking very, very threatening. Even in the Tottenham game, before they scored the first goal, they looked like they could have scored 1 or 2 at least. So I'm going to go for a 3-2 win to Liverpool, and my tip is going to be both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at 1.9. Now, the next fixture, arguably one of the most difficult to predict for this week, it is Aston Villa up against Southampton. Now, I really don't know which way this is going to go. A lot of people put faith in Aston Villa against Leeds, and last week they came up short, like very short. And Southampton played very, very well last week. Everton had, I think, one chance really. Sigurdsson hit the bar with a pretty decent kick from outside the box. But other than that, Southampton looked very, very good against Everton, and they looked very good going forward. Danny Ings playing a slightly deeper role, providing both assists for each goal. And it just shows that Southampton are a little bit more than a one-man show. And I think Southampton are going to get the win here. Away from home, I think they're going to win. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Southampton. Again, I'm sure people will predict Aston Villa to win this one. So my tip simply is going to be both teams to score at 1.53. The next fixture, it is Newcastle up against Everton. How Newcastle keep getting points, the way in which they are getting them, and with the way in which they are playing is an absolute mystery to me. I don't know how they're doing it, but they are doing it over and over again. Everton will, of course, be without Luka Dean. If I recall correctly, I believe his ban was taken down from a 3-match ban to a 1-match ban because whilst in slow-mo and with a screenshot, it looks very, very bad, but it wasn't like he was stomping on his ankle. He was just running and their legs got tangled. It was more of an unfortunate situation. A red card for me because it was dangerous, albeit accidental, but I think a 1-match ban is definitely the right way to go here. So they should they should have enough to win this game, Everton. I think Newcastle are going to sit back, give Everton quite a lot of the ball. That's something that Newcastle like to do. So I think this is going to be a low-scoring game, similar to Everton's opener of the season. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to Everton, and my tip is an Everton win, because even if I get the narrative of the game totally wrong and it's goals galore, I could see Everton then winning 3-1 or something like that. So whether it's a low-scoring game or a high-scoring game, I think Everton will have enough to get across the line in this one. So I'm going to go for an Everton win as my tip. The next fixture, Manchester United up against Arsenal. Now, United and Arsenal at the time of recording are yet to play in the respective European competitions. Obviously, Arsenal gracing the Europa League and Man United having a fantastic start in the Champions League. I'm very excited to watch Man United RB Leipzig. I'm watching that tonight. But this game, I think it's going to be quite similar to the Man United-Chelsea game, in the same way that United failed to really create anything too profound. Chelsea's keeper did have a good game, it has to be said, and the same way Arsenal, they scored a goal at the beginning that was ruled out for offside against Leicester. I really don't think Xhaka impeded the play enough to warrant that offside. The goal would have gone in regardless whether Xhaka was there or not, so I'm quite frustrated with that. Arsenal looked decent against Leicester, but then they paid the price for not taking their chances. Man United on the counter-attack looked decent against Chelsea, and defensively they were sound enough to keep a clean sheet. So I think this is going to be quite a quiet game, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. But my tip is going to be both teams to score. I was tempted for my tip to be a penalty in the match, but I couldn't actually find the odds, so I thought I'd go for a safer option and go both teams to score, because this could be a goal fest, but I highly doubt it. But I think a 1-1 is definitely a decent shout, because Man United haven't been looking that great at Old Trafford. So, but I would think that a penalty will happen in this game, as they always seem to do. The next game is Tottenham up against Brighton. Tottenham having a good result against Burnley. Wasn't pretty, but those are the performances that they need to put in. I think they beat Burnley 1-0 a year or two ago in like the 90th minute. So it's just a classic way to beat Burnley. They got a clean sheet, which Jose Mourinho he'll be lapping that up. And Brighton, they played pretty well against West Brom, but they just couldn't give themselves enough daylight between them, and they failed to beat even West Brom. And I think we keep saying every single week that the good performances Brighton are showing will eventually get something, but they still can't win a game. I think they're winless in their last 5 matches, despite, to be fair, putting in decent performances. But I think Tottenham are going to win this game. Harry Kane and Heung-min Son, if you watch football videos or other prediction videos, they would be mentioned in those videos too, because they are absolutely electric. So my tip, quite simply, is going to be Tottenham to score over 1.5 goals at 1.57. So Tottenham could lose 3-2. They could draw 3-3. I just think they're going to score a couple of goals, and at 1.57, that's a nice addition to any ACCA, because I think the way Brighton like to play more expansive football this season, unlike Burnley, who are very resolute in defence. Brighton will look to go forward with the likes of Lamptey and try and attack Tottenham because they know they can be susceptible at the back, as we saw in the West Ham performance. I think that'll allow Tottenham to score more goals than they did against Burnley. So over 1.5 goals is my tip there for Tottenham. And the score prediction is 3-1 to Tottenham. I can't remember if I actually said that, but it is what it is. The next one, it is Fulham up against West Brom. Now, these teams, they can't seem to buy a win. I don't know what they're going to do, but they're going to the Championship. That's the way I see it. Fulham and West Brom were the two candidates for me that were as good as gone, and this season so far has done nothing but confirm that for me. You never know what can happen, but either way, I think Fulham, they've got to try and do something here. They lost to Crystal Palace, who weren't playing great football. West Brom, they did well to come back against Brighton, and West Brom look a little bit more like winning a game than Fulham, I would say. Fulham just really don't look good at the back, but their attacking play hasn't been quite as fluid as the Fulham fans would like and would expect. So I think this is going to be a goal fest, similar to the Fulham-Leeds game. I'm just going to go for a 2-2. This could be 0-0. This could be a Fulham win. It should be a Fulham win. I'll tell you this right now. Fulham should win this game, but I don't think they will. And that just sums up Fulham's season. So I'm going to go for a 2-2. And my tip, it is extremely safe. I mean, it might not happen, but my tip is over 1.5 goals at 1.36. I just couldn't get a grasp of this game at all. The final fixture, it is Leeds up against Leicester. And again, I think this is going to be a closely contested game. Leeds dispatching of Aston Villa, but Leicester, in my opinion, are a level above Aston Villa. Despite, of course, I'm pretty sure Leicester lost to Aston Villa, but that's just football really, isn't it? I think this is going to be a very, very close game. I'm going to go for a draw, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 between the two teams. Leeds are enjoying their time in the Premier League. Leicester are enjoying their time having Jamie Vardy still scoring the goals. So I think I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw because I can't really separate them. This could go 2-1 either way, 2-0 either way, 3-0 either way. But my tip is going to be under 3.5 goals at 1.4 because Leeds and Leicester have been enjoying closely contested and low-scoring games as of late, and I see no reason for that not to continue. So that is going to do it for my fixtures and predictions for this Premier League week. Sorry if it was a little strange to watch because of my numb face. I haven't watched it back in the edit, of course, yet, so I don't know if I was drooping the whole video, if I was spitting the whole video, but I had to get it done for you guys. So be sure to drop your predictions down in the comments below. Leave a like, subscribe, as we're getting close to 11,000 subscribers, and I'll see you in the next video, which is going to be another Champions League predictions video, which I know you guys love. And yeah, I will see you then very soon.